Hello, welcome to IBFU. I'm Coach, and I be fed up. Republican Party. I be so fed up with the Republican Party. I, they just there's a lot of problems in the Republican Party, and I and I really don't understand why. But I can tell you, I know that there's a lot of reasons why there's so much trouble. And one of the problems with the Republican Party is that they don't really know what defines a Republican, so they can't vet them to make sure that the person who's running as a Republican is actually a Republican. What did you say, Coach? Yeah. What I said was is that they got a bunch of Republicans that ain't Republicans. Eh, now some of them are real easy to spot. Some of them are a lot more shady and harder to find. But Murkowski, she's not a Republican. Collins, she's not a Republican. They're Republicans because that's the only way they could get elected where their district or their state, whatever they can't. Okay, and I'm gonna call a few of them, but there's a whole bunch of them. And one of the things that the Republican Party does not do very well is they don't vet them and say, okay, this is really a Republican or this is not really a Republican. They just say they are, but they're not really. And they don't uh, pay attention to what they do, the members of their party. So let me just give the Republican Party some advice. If you go back, you need to go back right now and you need to look at members of the party that's been in office. Well, excuse me, it's been in office for more than one term. And you look at every time that there was a vote along party lines. Now, there are some votes that three-fourths of the members of Congress are going to vote no. There's some of them that three-fourths of them are going to vote yes. And, you don't need to look at those. You look at the ones that are close. And mainly vote on party lines. And there's one or two people that voted that are Republican that voted with the Democrats. Okay. And you look at them, and those people that did that, more than 10% of those votes, you need to look at real hard. And if they did that 20% of the time, they're a Democrat, kick them out of the party. You don't need them. You need somebody that's really a Republican. John McCain. John McCain was pathetic. Well, you can't talk about the dead. No, I can talk about him. He's pathetic. And he was never a Republican. He, you go back and look, and you're going to find that when they needed one vote on the Democratic Party to flip something they really, really, really did not want to pass, or that they really, really, really did want to pass, and he voted with the Republicans. With the Democrats. He's a Democrat. And I'll tell you how pathetic John McCain was. John McCain from Arizona. Obamacare was a disaster for Arizona. The people that John McCain represented, the people that voted him into office time and time and time and time again, were suffering under Obamacare. And they had a chance to get rid of Obamacare. And when it come down to the very end, he killed it. because he hated his constituents that he represents. He said, well, I just couldn't help Trump. No, he couldn't help Trump. He hated his constituents. The people he represented in Arizona, he didn't care that they were suffering under Obamacare. What was it, 125% increase every year on their premiums? It was killing them. I don't care. I'm voting Democrat because that's what I am at heart. Because the Democrats need me. That's where I'm going. And the Republican Party just, oh, yeah, John McCain's he's a Republican and we love him. And well, he hated you. And he was never a Republican. And the Republican Party does not recognize those things. And the Republican Party does not do a very good job of things. Okay? With elections. And here's what happens. You have the Republican Party and Democratic Party. I mean, they got them. Both sides got them. And they've got funds that are available to help people that need help and they're financially need help. Representatives, Speaker of the House has funds that he can tap into and say, okay, we're going to spend this much money on ads to help this person because he's getting outspent 2 to 3 to 1 on ads and it's close and we need to help him. Same thing in the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Democrat, claims to be a Republican, but he's a Democrat. In 2020, what did he do? Ted Cruz was struggling because he's been, that Pelosi and Schumer and all, they were dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into Texas for campaign ads to try to defeat Ted Cruz. Mitch McConnell didn't give Ted Cruz 1 penny to help him. Tells you exactly what you need to know about Mitch McConnell. He's pathetic. And he's a Democrat and he's a liar because he said all these years that he was a Republican. If he was truly a Republican and not a Democrat at heart, a lot of things would have got done in 2016. But I got all those complaints that I got there about people. But I'm going to tell you something about the Republican Party as a whole. 2016, Donald Trump got elected president of the United States of America. Republican Party won the House and the Senate. And it was time to go to work. Donald Trump had a list. We need to fix these things. Voting. Voter registrations. You have to show ID to vote. You have to show ID and proof of citizenship to register to vote. And same day voting, you show up to vote, show your ID, and vote. And this is how they set it up. Needed to do that. They needed to do list. They did almost none of those. Almost none. Why? Well, I'd vote for that, but you got to let me have this added to it, or I can't vote for it because I'm gonna. Shut up. You want to vote for it? Vote for it. You don't want to vote for it? Don't vote for it. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. You don't vote for it, you better raise enough money to run on your own because you're not getting a penny from the Republican Party and you're not getting any help, and we're going to have somebody run against you that's a real Republican. Now shut up and vote or get out of the Republican Party. That's what they needed to do, and they will not do it. That's what Nancy Pelosi did for years. You think the Democrats catered all this time and she just did whatever? Because I guarantee you, she told him, we're going to pull you from the Democratic Party. You won't get any funds. We will not allow you to be back in here next term if you don't fall in line and do what you're supposed to. Now, I don't really believe in doing that way, but you do need to say, if you're not going to be with us, you are against us. And if you're against us, we're going to be against you. And you don't need to be an iron hand and a dictator, but you need to make it known. Now, there's some times that you're going to have things, personal convictions just won't let you vote for things. Okay? And there's going to be some issues you just can't vote on. If I was a member of Congress or a state legislature or whatever, my personal beliefs would not allow me to vote in favor of abortion in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I just couldn't do it. And there's some items that are like that, but they are few and far between. Most of them, you need to get with them, and you need to get with the Republican Party. You need to tell them, and you need to tell Mr. President, I don't like this because they got this thing, and those are problematic, and I'd like to know why you think that's a good idea. But when you go and talk to him about it in private, and you may give him some things, and he said, you know what? Wow, that's a good idea. Why didn't I? You brought up some good points, and we need to look at this. And President Trump will do that. Okay? But at the end, and you can't agree, somebody has to make a choice. Guess who's the president? And he says, this is what we need to do. And as a party, we need to do this. You need to help your party. And y'all need to stick together and get some things done. You need to fix it, because I'm going to tell you something. Republicans need to listen to this very close. Won the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2016, and y'all did diddly squat. You do that this time, you will never, in my lifetime, and my kids' lifetime, and my grandkids' lifetime, you will never have all three again. And you can take that to the bank, because the American people have given you a chance. They've given you a second chance, and if you don't take advantage of it, forget it. You'll be fighting, trailing the Democrats from now on. Now, they're probably going to have a president. Republicans probably going to have a president for a while. But you will not have the House and Senate after 26 election if you don't get busy. And you got a lot to do. And you got a lot to fix, because the Democrats have broke a lot of stuff. And you got to fix this. Y'all need to go look at my deal on immigration and how to fix immigration system. You need to look at my video on several things, but you can start with immigration. You got a chance to fix it. You got a chance to fix voting. You got a chance to fix a lot of things. But you need to get busy and do it. And if you will, in 26, you'll get a bigger lead in the House and the Senate. And in 28, you'll get all three branches again, and you'll increase in the House and the Senate. Because American people are fed up with the Democratic Party, and you got to take advantage of it, and you have to govern. And if you don't, the Republican Party is going to be in serious trouble. And the worst thing about that is that the American people that you represent will be in trouble. And they just told you to fix it, and you better fix it. Thank you for listening. I'm Coach, and I'll be fed up.